Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about frontal bone. So let's start the topic with introduction. Frontal bone is one of the unpaired cranial bones of human skull. It is located at the front of cranium. It plays a vital role in protecting the brain and forming the framework of forehead, eye socket and nasal cavity. Being a single bone, it occupies a central position and articulates with several other bones of the skull. Location and structure of frontal bone. Frontal bone lies at the anterior part of cranium. It consists of vertical portion that is squamous part and that forms the forehead and the horizontal portion that is orbital part and that contributes to the roof of orbit and nasal cavity. At birth it develops in two halves which fuse during early childhood at the metopic suture. In some adults the suture may persist. Parts of frontal bone include squamous part, orbital part, and nasal part. Now let's talk about these parts one by one. So first part of frontal bone is squamous part. It forms the forehead. This part contains a frontal eminence, that is rounded elevation on either side, which are more prominent in children and females. It includes the supraorbital margin that form the upper edge of the orbits. It contains a supraorbital foramen or notch which transmit the nerves and blood vessels to the forehead. Next part of frontal bone is orbital part. It forms the roof of the orbits that are also called as eye sockets. It contains depression for the lacrimal gland and grooves for blood vessels. Next part of frontal bone is nasal part. It is situated between the orbits, as you can see in the diagram. It articulates with the nasal bones and forms part of the nasal roof. Special features of frontal bone are frontal sinuses. There are two air-filled cavities that are located inside the frontal bone above the orbits. They lighten the weight of skull and contribute to the resonance of the voice. Next special feature of frontal bone is glabella. That is a smooth area between the eyebrows located just above the nasal bridge. Then there is also superciliary arches that are bony ridges above the orbits and they are more prominent in males. Articulations of frontal bone. Frontal bone articulates with 12 bones of skull. It articulates with cranial bones, like it articulates with two parietal bone, one sphenoid bone, and one ethmoid bone. It also articulates with facial bones, like it articulates with the two nasal bone, two zygomatic bone, two maxilla, and two lacrimal bones. Functions of frontal bone are: first is protection, as frontal bone forms the anterior part of skull and safeguard the frontal lobes of the brain. Second function is support, as frontal bone contributes to the formation of forehead, orbits, and nasal cavity. Third function is facial structure, as frontal bone gives shape and prominence to the upper face. Fourth function is air passage regulation, as frontal bone houses the frontal sinuses which are involved in air filtration and resonance. Fifth function is attachment, as frontal bone provides anchoring point for muscles of facial expressions like occipitofrontalis muscle. Conclusion of this lecture video. Frontal bone is a single, strong cranial bone that plays an essential role in the structure and protection of the skull. It contributes to the forehead, eye socket, and nasal cavity. It houses the frontal sinuses and articulates with several other bones. Its importance lies not only in protection of brain but also in forming the characteristic appearance of the human face. And this was all about frontal bone. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching.